Shalom. Today we're going to look at a Bible code called the breastplate. It could also be the breastpiece, and it was a piece of the clothing that the high priest would wear. This table is found in the book of Numbers, chapter 4, verses 11 to 20. That's the scope of this whole table. And this word breastplate is found at a skip of 22 letters. And that's the same number as the letters in the Hebrew alphabet. So here is our access term, the breastplate, going here in the red. And another part of his clothing, the high priest's clothing, was the ephod. And that's here in this red with the black lettering. The breastplate was made out of gold, and here it is in this gold with the white lettering. And if you were interested in looking at how the breastplate was to be made, explanations of that is found in Exodus chapters 28 and 39, if you'd like to read that. So the breastplate was inset with stones, 12 stones representing the 12 tribes of Israel. And here we have the word stones, abni, and that is not in the plain scripture. It's actually two words, letters from two words. So the word stones isn't there in scripture. But when you combine parts of two words, you get that word, stones. One of the stones that was to be one of the 12 stones was an onyx. And here's onyx in the black. That's what the stones were that were set in the high priest, in the shoulder of the breastplate, called the Urim and the Thummim. And that was to help him make decisions. And then who was it that used this breastplate? Well, the first high priest was Aaron. And he's here in the green, and here in the green, and that's in the plain text of Scripture. And his son was Eleazar, and he's here in the plain text. And we have the word circumcision in this orange. They had to be circumcised to be, well, an Israelite, and for sure in the priestly role. We have prophet here in the blue, sharing a letter in another word. Mediator is here in this peach. And the way I see this is that the priest was to be the mediator between the Israelites and Yahuwah. But the breastplate was actually a mediator between the high priest and Yahuwah to help get decisions made. Yehoshua is here in the purple, and he is our great high priest. We have the word consecration, or it can mean the holy place. HaKadosh can mean the sanctuary. Tabernacle. It's in the plain text of Scripture in these verses here. Now it starts on this one line and then goes down to the next line because it's such a small table. Yeah, I couldn't get it all on the one line. So that's tabernacle. Then we have temple, Heikal, starting here, going up diagonal. Holy of Holies is in the plain scripture, and again it starts on one line and then follows down to the next. Kadosh HaKadoshim. We have the word faith here in this burgundy color, Amunah, or belief. That can be faith or belief. And right opposite, right parallel going up, you can see this teal. And that word is true or authentic, starting here with the Aleph. So I see that going well with faith, like the true faith, the authentic faith. And also I see it working out with the breastplate, that there really was only one true breastplate that the Father commanded Moses to make. There was just one. And even if anybody made another one to look like it, made of gold, inset with all these stones, it's still not the one that the Father commanded to be designed. There's just one. We have the word shalom, peace, here in this mauve. And all the letters that are vertical like this are the same skip of 22. We have the word hidden here in this green, and it's sharing letters with mediator and Yeshua, which Yeshua is our mediator, and he was hidden at this time, but actually revealed in the breastplate, because he is our mediator. The breastplate was the mediator for the high priest. The word trumpets, or teruah, is here in the brown, and it's not in the plain scripture per se, because it's going backwards from Hebrew. And with Eleazar, something I wanted to add about that it was through his descendants that Zadok descended, and he was the high priest that stayed faithful to David during the times of apostasy. Now the scripture that's passing through this table, like I said, is from Numbers chapter 4, and that's describing what the descendants of Kohath, who was a son of Levi, it talks about their responsibilities. They were the ones that were to look after and carry the most holy items in the tabernacle. Now they weren't to look at these things, they were to be covered up by the high priest before they carried them, but they were responsible to carry the most holy things. But there were verses saying, like in verse 15 it says, "But they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die." And in verse 20 it says, "But they shall not go in to watch while the holy things are being covered, lest they die." So part of me wonders if this breastplate was one of the items that the Kohathites were responsible to carry. So that is our table about the breastplate. I hope you enjoyed learning about it, and thank you for taking the time to listen. Shalom.